Hello, Daily Drafters. Today is Tuesday, December 28th, and thanks for joining me for today's Daily Draft. As we get into today's Innistrad Crimson Vow draft, I just want to remind you that this will be the last week of the traditional Daily Draft format that you're used to for this set, because starting next week, we will be switching to the Tuesday-Friday format for Crimson Vow here. So until Kamigawa Neon Dynasty comes out on February 10th on Arena, starting next week, we'll just be going Tuesday, Friday drafts of Crimson Vow until then, so that we can kind of prepare for the new set and let this one wind down properly. Yep, with that in mind, we will go ahead and get on into this first pack here. I think Hopeful Initiate is good enough to take here over... I mean, I'm looking at the commons and I'm just seeing... Gosh, Hookhand Mariner? Cruel Witness? That's about it. Don't like Crawling Infestation. Innocent Traveler has impressed, but I don't think it's, like, outstanding, necessarily. And this has a really high floor, or high ceiling, in certain aggressive white decks. So we'll go ahead and take that there. Now we're faced with an interesting pick here. So, we don't have to, but we should probably branch into a second color here. The rare was taken, so no signals. Drogskull Infantry is a decent follow-up to this. There is a Braid. There's also Paladin and Waltzer. Green-White and Red-White are not really decks that I'm super looking to get into. But with Initiate, that makes these kind of cards really, really good. Now, there's an argument for just taking Infantry and seeing if one of these wheels and just staying open in white. And if one of these wheels we can move in and know that color pair is open, which is a strategy. But I think Infantry is worse than a Braid, but is Infantry worse enough than a Braid to take it to stay white here? Because it already does go well with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Infantry here and see if either one of these wheels. So we're going to see this in pack 10, or pick 10. So once pick 10 comes around, if either of these are here, then I think that's going to be a signal that that color pair is open, because everyone at the table will have passed up on them. And here we go. The best cards in the pack are white in Fleeting Spirit and Distracting Geist. I'm not the biggest fan of Distracting Geist. I know some people are, but like if you're on the draw or something, this card is just not very good. It's a 3-mana 2/1, and if this can't attack through, let's say it taps down their best creature, and if it can't get through their second best creature, it's just a 3-mana 2/1. I know it has Disturb on the back, but I prefer Fleeting Spirit here. It's another really good white aggressive card. It's one of the only... I think there's only two 2-mana 3/1s in this set. This one and the red one. We'll take Visionary. And that goes really, really well with something like Hopeful Initiate and Trainers. So we'll take Fleeting Spirit here. And immediately see another one. Yeah. So again, we'll just stay white here. I do like Heron of Hope. Adamant Will. If this wheels, I'll probably play it in a deck like this, because we're going to be looking to push damage. But we'll take a second Fleeting Spirit, absolutely. And love to see a Traveling Minister here. So this is a really late Flame Blessed Bolt. Pick 5 tells me almost no one is in red to our right, which means we might get cut out of red in pack 2, depending on what we see in pick 10 as far as green or red goes, as far as the Waltzer or the Paladin. But we're going to go ahead and stay white here and take Minister. And then all the white cards are cut, which is a bit awkward. So if we are going to go into a second color, what are we going to take? This doesn't fit super well in red-white. This could, but we can get as many of these as we want. Too high of a curve. Don't want green cards this early. Blue-red isn't looking to be where we're going, nor is black. So I guess I'll take Ancestral Anger, but I don't even know if this is the kind of deck for it either. So we'll just put it in the sideboard for now. And here comes a couple of white cards. So it just looks like the last pack was pretty bad as far as white goes. So we'll just take Militia Rallier here. Again, stay white. I think it's a bit better than Vampire Slayer. If we knew we were green-white, I would probably take the Disciple here. But we don't know that. So I'm going to stay open and take the Rallier. Alright, so we've got Reckless Impulse, which I do like in really any red deck. Even a red aggressive deck, this allows you to kind of refill your hand a little bit. I think red is wide open at this table. But we'll see once pick 10 comes around. I'm going to take the 2-drop here over the first Reckless Impulse and just kind of probably keep hooking up our neighbor in red, I assume. Yeah, so nothing here in our wheel pack. We'll take our second Anger, though, and see if either of these cards come, and none of them come back. That's a bad sign. Okay. Well, we can't take a white card. Okay, so red, white, and green, white are not highly drafted color pairs, and yet, both of those cards got taken before the wheel, which is very strange to me. Okay. It was a pretty good pack, too. There were some good commons and stuff, so we'll just go ahead and cut white. I know this card doesn't matter, but none of these really matter either. Good news is we are set up in a position here to open a bomb in pack 2 and just kind of move in on that color. Doesn't really matter what color it is. If we open a bomb or we get past a bomb, I'm almost assured that our neighbor to the left is going to be in red, so we won't get a red bomb. But let's see if we can find the exact same card we opened in pack 1. Sure. Not quite a bomb, but it's pretty good. Dormant Grove is really, really good as well, but our deck is actually not really looking to maximize this super, super well. Harvester's obviously great, but we're far away from that. And Rending Flame's really good too, but that moves us into red when there's a perfectly good 1-drop here in Hopeful Initiate. So we're going to take the Initiate. They did take the rare, must be nice. Fierce Retribution, Adamant Will is basically what we're looking at. Again, are we looking to move into a second color for any of these cards? Probably not. So I guess I'll take my first Retribution here. We are looking to be pretty aggressive with this deck, and Retribution is not a super aggressive card. So maybe there's an argument to take Adamant Will, but I think we can get this later. And if we want a Retribution at some point in this deck, I think we have to take it now. Okay, so we've got Resistance Squad, Ancestral Anger. How many humans? 5 humans. That's a decent amount for Resistance Squad. I think this is going to be pretty good in this deck. There's a pretty good chance we'll get more as well. So we'll go ahead and take Resistance Squad. Maybe we wheel an Anger or an Impulse and move into red-white. But gosh, right now, I mean, we could just kind of be mono-white again. The only problem with the last time we went mono-white is that once we get to turn 5, basically, none of our cards do anything. They can't get through. So if they just play something that's too good. Okay, so Chandra Dressed to Kill. Not for us. Really not for anyone in this set. It's not that great. If we were mono red, we'd probably take it, but we're mono white. So we got a Distracting Geist, a Griffwing Cavalry, and a Piercing Light. I'm going to take the Cavalry here. This is something that can push through damage. It has training, works really well with our Fleeting Spirits. We can give them flying and attack with them. So we're definitely going to take the Cavalry here. There is a Scavenger, but we're not really positioned to move into black super well. Okay, so here's a position I think I will take my first Distracting Geist. Look, I said it's not the greatest of cards, but I think in a deck like this, this is something that can help push through a little bit of damage. If we can get through with our Initiates and our Minister helping things out a little bit, then the Distracting Geist can kind of help push through a little bit of that last damage there. So we have Drogskull Infantry, Flourishing Hunter, Infestation Expert. Doesn't really look to be a Flourishing Hunter deck or even an Infestation Expert deck, so I think we're just going to take the white 2-drop. And love to see Arm to Cathars here. This is exactly what this deck is kind of looking for, right? I mentioned that if we are kind of stuck on board and can't really get through, this is the kind of card that will let us be able to get through with our, 12 creatures. Imagine having a Distracting Geist down, putting down Arm to Cathars, tapping something down, and then just kind of everything is going to town here. So love to see Arm the Cathars here. I'll play an Adamant Will, absolutely. Let's pick 8, so we might even see another one on the next pack, but this helps us kind of get rid of a larger blocker while still attacking. Wouldn't mind seeing maybe another Minister and then like a Heron of Hope or something so we can get that package going. I think flyers are going to be important for us. We do have one, but it's pretty easy to kill. I mean, Flame Blessed Bolt kills this 4-drop, which is not good. But there's a Heron Blessed Geist, and I don't think... We have 2 infantries and the backside of a Distracting Geist for it. I don't think we're going to play that, but it is, at the end of the day, it is a flyer. Here we'll take another Adamant Will, which I don't know if I want to play 2, but we'll see. So we have 1 Bloody Betrayal. This seems like a card that, I don't think, we're not playing Supernatural Spirit. It seems like a card that if we do decide to go red-white, another Distracting Geist, not too bad. If we do decide to go red-white, it can help us kind of just close out games that we otherwise may not have, you know? So we'll take that. And, alright. Interesting here. This card is insane. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, we have the backside of infantries and the backside of geists. Oh man, I don't think this is the deck for Hallowed Haunting as much as I really, really want to try to build around this card. I don't think this is that deck. So if we aren't going to take that, we're going to take Perish Blade Trainee, but there isn't a Braid here, and we have 2 Angers, maybe a couple Bloody Betrayals. Maybe we wheel the Trainee. Maybe we wheel this Anger. I think I'll take my first to Braid, and we can look into to move into red-white here. I would love to have played Hallowed Haunting, but this is not the deck for it. Same with Path of Peril, jeez. I mean, we could go, well, this card, we can go black-white for Path of Peril, but that doesn't seem like the greatest of plans either. So there's a Radiant Grace. There's another infantry. So we have 13 creatures, tons of 2-drops. So in an aggressive style of deck, I think Radiant Grace could actually be pretty good. So we've got infantry, Radiant Grace, and Ceremonial Life. I'm going to lean on the side of 2-drop, but if this comes back, which it usually does wheel, I think I'll take it and try it out. And it's a little late in the format to be trying stuff out, but this kind of a deck, if their creatures can all enter the battlefield tapped, that's big gain for us, right? So we got a Bystander and a Trainee, but there isn't a Braid. I think we're going to go ahead and take in a Braid. And yep, then we have Celebrants, Vampire Slayer. So let's see. I think we're probably looking to go red-white here. I'll keep all that in there for now. I think I'll take Celebrants over Vampire Slayer. Again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-drops and a bunch of 2-mana interaction. So a decent top end with some blood tokens attached is not too bad. Another Celebrants, a Griff Rider, an Infantry, Nurturing Presence. I said we did need flyers in this deck, and because of our double Fleeting Spirit, Griff Rider can actually be pretty good. So we need to be able to push through this damage here. So let's go with Griff Rider. I do like having a copy of Reckless Impulse in pretty much any red deck. There's Honored Heirloom, don't need that. There's an Epicure, but we're not really doing much with it. So it's not that great. There's a Piercing Light. We'll take Piercing Light. Maybe it can help clear out an early blocker, but I doubt we're going to play it. So there's another Radiant Grace. I think I'm going to take this one here. I want to try this out. Yeah, I want to play it and see how it goes. So that Anger did come back around, which is pretty good news. It's kind of a cantripping way to maybe push a little bit of damage through once we've kind of stalled a bit. Don't think we're playing any of these. We do want to lean on the side of a ton of creatures, and we have 17 right now, so I don't think the Bloody Betrayals are going to make it in this deck. I don't really like Combatants either. The Trainee did come back, which is pretty good. Well, maybe in this kind of deck, Combatants is not awful. It helps push damage in through on turn 3. So another Vampire Slayer is fine, but not outstanding. Vampire Slayer does help with the curve of Hopeful Initiate into Slayer into attack, holding up maybe like an Abrade or something. Other Infantry is a good pickup. And Sanctify. Okay, so let's see how we can build this deck here. So this is the kind of deck I'd like to play 16 lands in. So we're going to go ahead and probably cut a mountain. And then we need 7 more cuts here. So probably a single Adamant Will. We have 20 creatures. We need 6 more cuts. There's 3 Angers. How good are these Angers going to be in this deck, actually, is the thing. Probably not great. I mean, there are ways to cantrip, but at the end of the day, why don't we just draw a different card than Anger and not spend the 1 mana, right? We don't have big creatures that need to get trampled too much, so I think if we cut these, that makes our cuts a lot easier. Again, I do want to try this Radiant Grace. Feels weird, but there's an argument for cutting Fierce Retribution because we're so aggressive. And again, I want to keep my creatures. I think I'm actually going to do that, which feels weird. I like our 1-drops. Maybe we have a ton of 2-drops, and honestly, the infantries are holding down our 2-mana 2/2 spot. These seem fine here. Combatants is the worst of them. We do have 9 humans for Resistance Squad, which is good. Cavalry and Celebrants. Yeah, I think this seems fine. Really aggressive deck. And we just gotta hope we don't kind of get stonewalled by, you know, a green-black butts deck, which I think last time we played red-white, we played against like 2 of those or something. So we'll get in there like this, and I'd love for you to consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. If you have, thanks so much for joining us. If you have not, we'd love to have you on the team here going forward. If this is your first time watching the channel, then welcome, and if it's not, then welcome back. We'd love to have you be a part of the growing monstrosity that is Daily Draft here going forward. So, all right, so we're on the draw here. Fine enough hand. So do we lead with infantry or spirit? I don't know the answer to that question. Probably spirit, so we can get that on the battlefield for when cavalry eventually comes down. Although infantry blocks trainee better. I think I'm still going to go spirit because I want to train this cavalry on turn 5. Okay. So we can play Distracting Geist, and then we're in a race, basically. Because next turn we're going to play Griffin Cavalry, and we're probably not blocking. Or we can hold up a Braid and kill something, but we're not developing our board. So I think I'm just going to be mana efficient here. And I'm actually going to hold this back to threaten the block with the Ancestor. I know they get to trade, but we do have a Braid. And then this gets to put its counter somewhere, which is not great, but I think we need to develop our board here. Again, here's the situation where we have turn 3 Distracting Geist on the draw, and already it's not looking to be outstanding. Okay, so do we block? We're taking 4. They can't train this again, and if they can, we might need to braid it next turn. I don't think we're going to block right now. Okay, so we might just need to abrade that now, so they don't flip it. I know that's a turn delayed on our cavalry, but we don't want them to flip this. So we're taking 4 more, going to 11. Maybe we do have to just trade off this Fleeting Spirit with something now. Yeah, I hate playing aggressive decks on the draw because, like, we're just not winning this race. And then if we're not attacking, what are we doing? Oh, jeez. Okay, so now they're going to get that back, which is not good for us. Alright. I guess we play cavalry here. We could push through 5, 6, 7 damage, but then again, we're taking 6 on the backswing. And they're gaining 2, so we trade 5 for 6, and we're in a race situation, so we can't really do that. Okay, so past to blockers. They probably have something here, but we're at the point where we can't consider not blocking. We need to kind of get this board to start to move. Yeah, that makes sense. So our board is clear. They're left with a trainee. We draw another land here. Yeah, we're just going to play our creature. Okay, so they're going to have a 3/3 flyer that has lifelink. We'll draw our 8th land and can't do anything, so go ahead and hit us again. Yep, take 6, and then we die to a flyer next turn. Wow. I'm playing 16 lands for a reason here. Alright, so being on the draw, drawing 9 lands, being an aggressive deck, not going to win. So, let's get on to the next one. Alright, our aggressive deck will take the draw once again. At least we have turn 1 Minister. Gonna need to draw another white for Arm the Cathars, which doesn't feel great. Come on. Because lands aren't great draws, but if we draw 1 more white, then we're basically opened up for the rest of the game. Some cool lands here. I think we just need to abrade that, like, literally right now. So, go away. We do get to draw a card next turn if our Minister survives. So, there's that. Okay. That's pretty good. So we'll go Resistance Squad here, draw a card. And gain a life. Okay, that's decent-ish news for us. It's a little slow. Hold there an Epicure. They have a... like a pimped out vampires deck here. All their cards are kind of doing everything. What did they kill? Resistance squad? Okay, that's fine. Distracting Geist. So we can play Impulse and then Infantry even if we don't hit. So let's play Impulse. And then we can play this Infantry. We'll gain a life here. Next turn we can go Geist Infantry, setting up a pretty big Arm the Cathar's turn if they're stuck on mana here. Man, they have... It's like they drafted every card in the set that they have kind of all the extra things for. Yeah, I think we need to get our creatures down. So let's do that. Next turn we can do Abrade plus Arm the Cathars, which will be really nice. Another Guest is not great against this board. Now we're going to kill that, so that doesn't matter. Celebrants is not a bad draw here, so let's go... I know it's tapped, but we're going to Abrade it now because it's the best target on the board. And then we're going to +3/+3, 2 and 1. And then we'll get in without this one because they could double block. We'd trade Infantry for Epicure, which is not great. So we'll get in like this. And tap down that one. They'll take 11. And then post-combat, we can even gain a life. Alright, so they found their 4th land. Let's see what they can do with it. So Distracting Geist here. We can play another one. It's really good on this board. It gets past their Gluttonous Guest. I have a feeling they have like Bleed Dry or something up. I want to get the Celebrants down. We can even pitch this to Blood, and then next turn cast it on the back of something here. Huh, Blood Fountain is not the special version, so you don't have a completely decked out deck here. They might get back... that makes sense here, okay. They can steal our Celebrants and then hit us with it, I guess. Well, not quite. Almost. Well, yeah, they can. No, because they don't have double red or triple red. Kind of saw that one coming, so yeah, that resolves. Pass to attackers, probably not going to attack. I think we're going to pitch this. Helps us get their damage next turn, which I want to do here. So I want to put it on this one. Pump up here, and then we can tap down 2 things. So that one's that one, so we can target this one. Now they probably trade, take 5, which I'm fine with. Guess we kind of messed up with the auto tapper if we wanted to play Fleeting Spirit here, so that's pretty bad. But we can take the blood. Get rid of the mountain. Cast this next turn, and we can still tap down 2 creatures. Okay. Got enough blood. Okay, so I don't like that they're leaving up mana here, because if we go for distracting guys on infantry, then we get kind of owned. Like, a lot. So what I'm actually going to do here is play all 3 creatures. Because then we just have, like, tons of lethal threats. So we're going to play Trainee, and then Spirit, Spirit, and then next turn we can do this and see if they want to kill something. We will not attack and see if they want to kill something or if they're just going to get rid of some blood tokens here. Forgot that they can gain a ton of life off the guest, so it's not great, but let's see what their follow-up is on their turn here. Yeah, as many as they want to use. I mean, they can gain 10 life on this board if they wanted to, which wouldn't be the greatest plan for developing their board, but so they can probably go Wedding Security into another vampire if I had to guess here. Okay, so they're gonna do that. And we'll hit another land. So that lets us blink out these spirits, which is good. So do we want to go +2/+2, or do we want to go tap down? I think I want to go +2/+2. It'll make this a 4/4. These can also get first strike. So I definitely want to pump this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put this here. And then we can blink this one out when they block it with the guest. Okay. So we will give this one first strike. Yep. And then we will blink this one out. So we get to distribute a counter here. We'll put it on Fleeting Spirit. And get that one back. Gosh, so many 1/4s. Okay, so they're leaving out potential removal, but I think we still need to go for it here. So let's do Geist on this one. Hopefully they don't remove it. Okay, so they're going to gain a life. No Abrade. Okay, no Bolt. No Bolt. Alright, no bolt. Resolves. They're back up to 9. This resolves. We're going to give this +1. We can still give it first strike. They do have to chump. Alright, they go to 1. We have combatants if we want to keep it, or we have protection to blink either one of these out. Okay, so they will get to... I guess that was an argument for getting rid of creatures out of our yard, because we don't have a way to get them back. But they would have just done it to theirs, probably. Okay, searching for a Flame Blessed Bolt, most likely. Didn't find it. I think that should be lethal for us. Yep, so let's go ahead and play combatants here. Yeah, it is lethal. We were able to push our way through those gluttonous guests, because 1/4s are pretty good against us, but Distracting Geist actually did some work there. Alright, we actually get to be on the play this time. We can go Minister into Infantry, which seems pretty good. And then we can trade off Infantry, which makes all their creatures come in tapped for the rest of the game. Which, if we have another good curve out, could work pretty well. Okay. Do we want to trade Ministers here? I guess we offer that. See if they want to take it. Okay. And then we'll go Infantry. And then we'll go Rallier. And hope that Infantry survives so this can still attack. Okay, so they found Ancestor. It's alright, we can abrade that pretty easily here. And then I think we can give this to the Rallier. Well, we'll give it to the Infantry. There's a better chance it'll be able to trade with something. It's a 4-mana X3 or something like that. Let's see what they play. Hopefully it's not an X4. That's one of the better X4s they could have played. Not a bad draw for next turn, but we can't do anything now. And they keep drawing their lands, so... Ceremonial Knife, not too concerned with that. Okay, that's fine. And on lifelink, yeah, that is true. That doesn't work great for us. Alright, so they're gaining 5. We can hit them back for 8. Or we can like trade off these 2 creatures. Which like doesn't seem great, but as long as they have lifelink, it's an X4, we can't get rid of that, so I think we do have to trade off these 2 creatures here. I don't like it, but let's do it. Okay, so let's impulse. And now their creatures come in tapped, so they have to play 2 of them, but they are at 15. Well, that's kind of 2 of them. Alright, we can suit up this thing, which blocks the expert, because as long as they're... Well, these are going to come in tap for the rest of the game, so we can try to just push through damage here. And where do we want to put this? Probably on the infantry. So they are going to make another insect because they're likely to attack with Infestation Expert here. Another lifelinker. Gosh, okay, so yeah, then they're going to put it on the Infestation Expert, go to town, and then we can't really push through the rest of the damage because we don't have a way to get rid of an X4 very efficiently without holding this back. So, looks like we're going to have to hold this back and hope that they don't have a way to kill it and remove it and stuff. Can't block. Okay. We'll hit another land. Can't do anything about that. So we'll train this. Leave this back. Tap this. And end the turn. And that flips to Knight, which now we still can't even block. Didn't even consider that. Yep, looks like we let this one get away from us here. These lifelinkers probably would have had it if it weren't for other lifelinks, so. You know. What can you do? Yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna die to flyers in 2 turns? Okay, sure, let's do that. Turns out this was pretty good against our deck, because they can make an army of chump blockers that we can't get through. And then they give it lifelink, and then we have no game plan left. So, we can keep giving this lifelink too. Yeah. Resolve all. Pass to blockers. We'll try to trade here. Okay, so that's fine because we can Adamant Will this one, and then this will still survive. So, okay. I mean, we're not winning this game, but I mean it's still something here. So let's give it there. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's see if we can get a couple more here. Looks like we have not figured out the correct way to build an aggro deck in this format, because all it takes is them to drop a 3-4, and then we're like, oh, okay, I guess we lose, which is not where you want to be when you're the aggro deck player. All red, all white. Can't play it. This is better. We'll keep 6. I guess we'll get rid of Impulse because we have a pretty good curve here. We can train this next turn. Hopefully they don't play like a Steelclad Spirit or something. So this could trade with Wretched Throng, but this does get trained, and then we get this in the yard. Okay, just the single Wretched Throng deck, I guess. Okay, another one. We can... oh, that's why. Because they have it in their hand. Okay, so let's play Griff Rider, because we can do haste next turn. We'll tap this down. I know this gets us an extra training if we wanted to. And maybe that's worth it, but we can get an extra training double next turn with Griff Rider. So let's get in. Go to damage. And then Griff Rider. So we can play Combatants, give this +2/+0, train both of these. Tap something down. Okay, that's good news for us. Hungry Ridgewolf, okay. So we can still do that, and I think it's worth it. So let's go Combatants. We'll give... I guess we'll give Combatants +2/+0. So we can train all of these things. And I am fine trading off. So we're going to tap the Wretched Throng here. We'll train all of that. And then we'll get in. And now we have a lethal Griff Rider. Awesome. That's how it's supposed to go. That's how these decks are supposed to function. See if we can get to that magic number of 3, where the difference between 2 and 3 is half a draft. We've stopped at 2 quite a few times on this channel. I think this is our 32nd draft, and we probably had like 10 that ended up 2 and 3. I'm not even exaggerating. And if all those had been 3 and 3, that would have been a huge difference. Okay, so this hand is really awkward. We have 2 mana, we can play a Spirit, and then we have nothing but 3 drops. We have a lot of good draws in this deck, though, so I don't think we can get rid of it. If we can land double Distracting Geist and then get in, at least it's something we can cast if we miss our 3rd land. Okay. That came turn too late. And now we want at least a land here. Okay. That's not a land. So did we just trade both of these? Maybe? Yeah, they might have a trick, but I think we need to try to do that. If they have a trick, we can at least, like, flash it out, discarding a Geist or something. So let's discard... yeah, let's discard the Geist to blink that out. This will get a counter, which is not great. Doesn't line up well against our board. That'll probably do it. Alright, we'll miss our 3rd land drop again, and I guess we're just playing a 2/2. And they just keep playing big chunkers that we can't get through. So it looks like we're gonna poop out here at 2 and 3 once again. And can I interest you in a 5-drop? No? Okay. Yeah, that's about enough. Sure. Whatever. Alright, my turn. Ooh, look, a land. Yeah, let's play this. They have a 4/4, 3/3, a 4/4, and a 6/6 to our 1/1s, 2/2s. There's a lethal flyer. Attack with everything. We have to chump all of it. Yeah, whatever. Let's go on to the final screen. So we have not figured out aggro decks in this format. Maybe that's something I can work on in my own time, but not a big fan of red-white, and not really wanting to consider playing it going forward. It doesn't have the tools. Maybe I'm building it wrong. Maybe we need like 6 abrades and bolts to get through everything. A lacerate flesh to deal with the bigger creature, but that deck we stood absolutely no chance against because it had a bunch of 4 toughness creatures and stuff, and all of our creatures attack with 2 and 3 power. So we are not able to get through that. We will flunk out at 2 and 3 once again. Hopefully we will pick it up to finish the year out for the last 3 drafts of the year this week. So looks like that'll do it for today's video. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow for your daily draft.